Welcome back, boxing fans. Ryan Garcia is one of those fighters who sparks endless debates. Love him or hate him. He's got the flair, the speed, the power, and let's be real, the social media following to match. But if there's one thing that everyone agrees on, it's that Ryan Garcia is polarizing, both inside and outside the ring. At 26 years old, with a record of 26 fights and only one loss, he's already established himself as a legitimate force in boxing. But the question is, how much of his success comes down to raw talent, and how much to his actual skill as a boxer? Let's dive into the world of KingRy and see what makes him tick, and where he might be headed. Ryan Garcia's career began with a kind of amateur record that would make most fighters envious: 215 wins to just 15 losses. A 15-time national champion by the age of 18, he was snapped up by Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions with promises of superstardom. And for the most part, Garcia delivered. He rose through the lightweight ranks quickly, capturing the WBC silver lightweight title in just his 19th professional fight, knocking out Romero Dono in less than 2 minutes. That fight wasn't just a statement, it was a warning to the division. Garcia's speed and explosiveness could end anyone's night early. Now, let's talk about that speed. Ryan's left hook is almost mythical. It's fast, sharp, and devastating, arguably one of the quickest in the sport. Fighters like Devin Haney, known for their technical prowess, have struggled to neutralize it. Against Haney, Garcia showcased not only his signature hook, but also an ability to adjust, frame his shots, and control distance in ways we hadn't seen before. Sure, he still drops his right hand when throwing the left, something critics love to harp on, but the sheer velocity of his punches often makes it irrelevant. Haney, despite being one of the most technically sound fighters in boxing, simply couldn't find answers for Garcia's speed and power. But here's the thing about Ryan Garcia: he's not perfect, and that's okay. Too often, analysts get hung up on what he lacks: his defense, his tendency to rely on athleticism over technique, his sometimes questionable footwork. But what they fail to appreciate is what he does bring to the table. Garcia is an athletic freak. He's fast, powerful, and explosive, with a natural fighting instinct that's hard to teach. He's also big for his division, standing at 5'10" with a frame that seems destined to fill out into the welterweight or even middleweight ranks. Critics who downplay his achievements because of his technical flaws forget that boxing is as much about physical gifts as it is about skill. And Garcia, despite his imperfections, has proven time and time again that his athleticism and toughness can compensate for a lot. Take his fight against Luke Campbell, for example. Campbell, a 2-time title challenger and Olympic gold medalist, was no pushover. Early in the fight, Campbell dropped Garcia with a perfectly timed shot that landed flush on the button. For a moment, it looked like the hype train might derail, but Garcia got up, composed, determined, and unfazed. What followed was a relentless assault that culminated in a brutal body shot KO, leaving Campbell writhing on the canvas. That win wasn't just a highlight reel moment. It was a statement. Garcia proved he could handle adversity, recover, and finish a top-tier opponent, all at just 22 years old. Ryan Garcia is a lightning-fast counterpuncher with hands that move like a blur. His fast twitch reflexes let him unload punches in the blink of an eye, and his counterpunching game is on point. But it's not just about speed. Garcia is also getting comfortable with the Philly shell or shoulder roll, a defensive technique made famous by Floyd Mayweather. While he's not quite the master of it yet, Garcia is fine-tuning his craft and looking more polished every time he steps into the ring. But it's his jab that truly sets him apart. This isn't your average jab. Garcia uses it as bait, luring his opponent in for a hook and then countering with precision. He also pushes with his jab, turning it into an offensive weapon rather than just a defensive tool. His whole boxing style is a freak of nature, unique, unpredictable, and dangerous. Garcia's ability to mix up his techniques with such natural flair gives him an edge that few can match, making him a real force to reckon with in the ring. Of course, not every fight has been smooth sailing. Garcia's loss to Gervonta Tank Davis was a humbling experience. Dropped twice and stopped in the 7th round, Garcia was reminded that raw talent can only take you so far. Davis, a more complete boxer with serious power, exploited Garcia's defensive vulnerabilities and showed why he's one of the most dangerous fighters in the sport. Still, it's worth noting that Garcia had his moments in that fight, landing shots that visibly rocked Davis and keeping the contest competitive for stretches. The loss doesn't define him, and if anything, it highlights areas for growth and underscores the level of competition he's willing to face. Another thing worth mentioning is that during the fight with Davis, Garcia wasn't at his best due to the rehydration clause, and even Davis himself has acknowledged that fact. Now, the elephant in the room: Garcia's future. At 5'10" and naturally walking around at 170 pounds, it's clear that Garcia won't be staying at lightweight forever. He's already struggled to make 140 pounds, and a move to welterweight seems inevitable. But with that move comes new challenges. At 147 or 154 pounds, Garcia will face opponents closer to his natural size. Fighters with the power, toughness, and experience to test him in ways he hasn't been tested before. The question is whether his physical gifts can continue to compensate for his technical shortcomings as he climbs the weight classes. And then there's the mental aspect of Garcia's career. Known for his flashy persona and massive social media presence, he's faced criticism for being more focused on his image than his craft. But anyone who's watched him train knows that Garcia takes his career seriously. He's disciplined, hardworking, and constantly looking to improve. The question isn't whether he's committed, it's whether his team can help him develop the technical skills needed to complement his natural abilities. Because, make no mistake, Garcia's potential is sky high. If he can shore up his defense, improve his footwork, and refine his boxing IQ, there's no limit to what he can achieve. What's undeniable is that Garcia brings excitement to every fight. He's not the kind of boxer who plays it safe or waits for the judge's scorecards. He comes to bang, to entertain, and to prove that he belongs among the sport's elite. That willingness to take risks combined with his raw talent makes him a must-watch fighter, even for his detractors. So, where does Ryan Garcia go from here? The lightweight and super lightweight divisions are stacked with talent. From the likes of Gervonta Davis to Shakur Stevenson to Teofimo Lopez and Jose Valenzuela, Garcia has options, and the path he chooses will define his legacy. Will there be another rematch to settle it once and for all with Haney? Will he take on a rematch with Davis, looking to avenge his lone loss? Will he move up in weight and challenge the big names at welterweight? Or will he continue to refine his craft, building his resume and silencing his critics one fight at a time? Most likely scenario we might see is the rematch with Haney. Despite all the drama, Haney still seems open to a rematch, though with some strict conditions. His father, Bill Haney, insists Garcia sign up for a VADA drug testing months in advance, even before a rematch date is confirmed. Unsurprisingly, Garcia ignored the demand. Known for doing things his way, he's set to return from suspension a year after their fight on April 20th, 2025. Haney's team wants frequent testing for a good reason. Garcia hasn't earned their trust. If a rematch happens, staying clean will be the absolute bare minimum for Garcia to step back in the ring. Whatever happens, one thing is certain: Ryan Garcia is far from done. He's a young, hungry fighter with the tools to dominate for years to come. And while he may never be the most technically sound boxer, his speed, power, and explosiveness make him a threat to anyone who steps into the ring with him. Love him or hate him, Garcia is here to stay, and the boxing world will be watching every step of the way. What do you think about Ryan Garcia's future? Can he reach the heights of superstardom, or will his flaws hold him back? Let us know your thoughts, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more boxing analysis. Until next time, fight fans,